I wanted to take a quick minute to talk about a project that I'm working on. These are little tiny mini books. I had seen someone else on the internet make them, and I went out and found a tutorial from them. It is from a website called papervines.com. It's basically a single sheet of paper that's cut and folded into an accordion shape, and then the pages are glued together back to back. And as everybody might know, because I've spoken about it before, I'm not the world's greatest when it comes to, precision cutting of things, and even just getting the sheet of paper to the 10 by 12 inch size was a little bit challenging to me. And then to fold the paper and cut the paper where it was supposed to be, you can see, I think it's on, let me see, which book is it? It's, yeah, you can kind of see here, like how uneven I am with things. And that even was like trimming, I was even trimming some of those edges down to try and make the book more flat. But you can see how great I am with that. And this one, where am I here? This one, I ended up like cutting it at the wrong distance because, I measure 5 times, cut it, and it's still wrong. And then I patched that on the back, but this one also still didn't come out too even. And this one, I think I got a little bit better at it, but this one was probably the best because instead of trying to score and cut on the score lines, I scored it and then tore it. And I like that one. That one came out a little bit better. And I did this one in a different direction. Actually like this style better, going horizontally as opposed to vertically. But anyway, so because I wanted to try this, I decided to use what I had on hand, and that was pages in an old sketchbook that I had painted with watercolor. And once I put the books together, I realized as I was gluing the pages back to back and getting some staining from the watercolor that was on the pages, I thought to myself, well, I can make these little books, these little collage books, and as I'm gluing things, it's very possible that I'm gonna make a mess, and or if I would ever sell these and somebody were to handle it, with like a damp hand or something, they could end up, pulling the paint off of it. So I decided that I would seal the pages. And had I been really, really smart, I would have sealed the sheet before I made the book. But, that's not necessarily how I roll. So I applied this, this fluid matte medium with a sponge brush very thinly. I did this late last night. And you can see, because I like things matte, I don't like things glossy. So I painted every one of these pages and every one of these 3 books. I did not seal the pages on this one because that one wasn't watercolor. And I let it dry overnight. They seemed completely dry this morning, but they had just been distorted from being glued. And so brilliant me put these together and clamped them between 2 boards so I could get them to be flat. And I don't even think I had them in there for half an hour. I took them out and they all stuck together. Whee! So, I guess that will be used in some way, in the collage process. I'll find ways to kind of, cover all these spots that were, where I tore the pages apart to try and get them apart. Like, look at that. That's me being a ding-dong. But like I said, art making is problem solving. You could just throw the whole thing away and start over, or you could figure out how to make it work. And I'm going to figure out how to make this work. One of them came apart a lot easier than the other. This one, I don't know if I applied it thinner, but this one actually came out pretty darn good. And I think only had like a little bit where they stuck together. But this one, geez, every single page, look at that. So maybe I find out a way to make that a design element on every page. Who knows? Oh, look, yeah, like I did that on purpose. But no, yeah, that was, I guess, too much of the matte medium. It made every page stick together, but at least it's consistent, right? So just wanted to share this because, I think a lot of people sometimes think that we totally know what we're doing, that artists totally know what they're doing and are totally like tight with all their technical skills and stuff like that. But, every artist doesn't know how to do everything. And especially like, if you happen to specialize in one particular area, when you go outside your comfort zone, I mean, you bring in what you know. And look, here's 2 more pages stuck together. Sorry I'm hand holding this. I couldn't figure out how to get, oh, there we go. I couldn't figure out how to get the tripod set up quickly. But, so yeah, I think it's going to be pretty neat once they're done. And I think I'll probably definitely explore this more without using pages that were covered in watercolor paint. This one here was a mandala painting I did with ink. You can kind of see. So this is an actual piece of art that was cut up and turned into a book, which I think is pretty cool. I don't know if, excuse me, I don't know what I might do more to this. I might leave it as it is, or I might figure out other things to add to it. But so that's me right now, making something because it's been pretty difficult the past however many months to be able to find the energy and the inspiration and the motivation to work on something. But I just thought I'd show this to you. I thought I'd pass along the information about the tutorial in case anybody else wanted to try making these little books. You just need a 10 by 12 inch piece of paper and maybe a little bit of patience and some glue. The glue I used, by the way, oh, and now that I'm thinking about it, these books, this one, and this one, I used different glues on these. So the 2 books that stuck the most, I used wheat paste that had PVA in it. And this one was PVA alone. So that's something worth considering because the wheat paste plus PVA had a lot more water in it than the PVA alone. I really enjoy working with Jade PVA. It's like Jade 401 PVA. It's archival. It's permanent once it's dry, but it's really, really thick. And depending on what you're working on, sometimes it can dry too quickly or you won't be able to move something around like once you've set it down. So one of the things that I've read about and has been recommended is that you can mix wheat paste and then add PVA to it, or you can add wheat paste to PVA. So I think I did that in the past where I had added a little bit of wheat paste to PVA, and this time I had done something different and mixed up batches of wheat paste, and the wheat paste and the glue that I buy, the Jade PVA, both come from a company called Talas, Talas, and the wheat paste is pre-cooked. So all you need to do is mix it into cold water. You don't have to do the heating process that I understand is with standard wheat paste. So I mixed up the wheat paste and then I added the correct proportion of PVA to this, which makes it archival because the addition of the archival PVA makes the wheat paste archival. It's like very, very thin, and I used all the proper directions from the company for the proportions of water to wheat paste and glue, but that doesn't necessarily mean that that's like the be all end all. I could adjust proportions if I wanted it to be thicker, if I wanted it to be thinner, but I just wanted to first try doing it by their directions. And it's very, very loose and runny, and I found it really difficult to work with with small pieces. There's just like too much water in it. And now that I'm thinking about how I used the wheat paste PVA mix on these books and then seeing the way they stuck together, that's probably because there was still too much moisture from the glue in these books. Like, I didn't let them dry long enough, but you know, because I'm impatient and I want to like get working on something when I'm finally motivated to do it. And this book, which was the PVA only, there was only like this page here that stuck a little bit and like one other one stuck together. So just food for thought, whatever, you know. I mean, you can probably use whatever adhesive is, you know, makes you comfortable. But I'm probably going to stick with just working with the PVA, and maybe I'll add just like a little bit of water to the PVA to thin it out. And, you know, who knows? Again, it's a lot of experimentation and problem solving, and that's what art making is. You know, there's really no hard, fast rules about things. There you go. Okay, have a good one.